it's a bit satirical about, life with pets and neighbors and, navigating the world with that. So.
Excellent. I love it. Brilliant stuff. Let's just dive right in. Many pet lovers and owners are aware, I think, of CBD in some sort of guise, but I don't think any of us really understand what it actually is and indeed what it actually does. Perhaps you could help us all out with that.
Sure. At the Popular Pets, we have a CBD line, and our CBD is water soluble. But many CBDs that you'll find, either come as, we also carry a topical, but they have a topical application, and they also come in a tincture form that go into the pet's mouth. But the way that CBD functions and why there is so many different ways that you can use CBD is because it functions with what's called our endocannabinoid system. And it's all this system of receptors throughout the body, which keeps us balanced. So for instance, if we're in pain, our system is out of balance. If we're in have a greater flee mechanism or flight mechanism, our system again is out of balance, which then leads, oftentimes also to anxiety. When you ingest CBD, it balances that system. So CBD is a cannabinoid. It can either be from the hemp or cannabis plant, and then it is concentrated in the form that is commercially available to people through a manufacturing process.
The quirky and I think sort of obvious question at this point is for the uninitiated, well, why would I want to give my dog cannabis? Why do I want to get my dog high?
Right.
So How do we square that circle?
That's a perfectly legitimate question. And I'm from California, and many dispensaries do carry CBD. That would be CBD from the cannabis plant. Mm-hmm. But if you're buying CBD from the hemp plant, which is commercially available online or any other place, it has to be under 0.03 THC. And the CBD, the way it works on the cannabinoid system without THC, is it has zero psychoactive effect. So you're not getting your dog high. You're working on the holistic system within your pet that is a system of receptors called the endocannabinoid system.
Which I think is a really important point to get across to most people. Because again, most would think, CBD oil, it's cannabis, it's a drug. What am I doing? Right?
Yes. Yeah. And so if it complies with the law, it simply cannot be. It is a plant-based supplement or an added addition to your pet's wellness routine, just like any other wellness product.
Which is another interesting point, because again, taking out the THC element, obviously, for a moment, but in terms of the use of CBD, then in my limited experience when I've been asked about it, most of those inquiries are coming from people with older dogs or dogs that have ailments, dysplasia, spondylosis, etc., displaying clear signs of pain and want to look at potential non-pharmaceutical remedies to help with their pets. And obviously, so first point is this is something that can help.
Yes. I mean, CBD, being an endocannabinoid, has a natural anti-inflammatory characteristics. It's a proven anti-inflammatory. And that's why you also see it as a topical, people applying it topically. It's now in skin creams because the anti-inflammatory properties of CBD are so amazing. And so, yes, for a pet with arthritis, there's lots of research available, of published research now that is coming online since its legality that, it's okay to do more in the university setting, and research on a federal level that support that CBD is an extremely powerful anti-inflammatory. At the Popular Pets, some of our products, we have a Relieve Plus that's specifically for anti-inflammatory. And, it occurred to us that, you have one powerful anti-inflammatory. Why not also we have MSM, Yucca, and Boswellia included as well, which are also all supported by research to be powerfully anti-inflammatory. And I myself have an over 16-year-old rescue dog, and she's just really gotten her life back with, regular use of CBD. And that's the other thing. It's like anything else. You need to be consistent.
Sure. And again, look, my Sassy is 12 and a half. She gets referenced on pretty much every week on the pod. But yeah, I've noticed with her, her hips are going. She'll struggle occasionally to stand up if she's been lying down for too long and things like that. So it's been on my mind about something to look into as well. one of the key questions I had, and I'm sure some listeners will as well, you don't want to mask the pain. Are the CBD products actually physically helping to, I think cure is probably the wrong word, but are they assisting in pain management, or is it just sort of masking over the problem?
Yeah, that's a good question. And if you're reducing inflammation, pain will be reduced.
That's got to be a good thing, right?
Pain is a result, right? Pain is a result of inflammation. But, with I don't know about your 12-year-old, but my 16-year-old, she just doesn't want to stay at home. If you're off on a hike, she wants to be with you, right? And so if that extra CBD, it's not that it's masking the pain and making her want to do that. She wants to do that. So it's supporting her in her ability to be more active. Another component is the more active dogs are when they get into their elder years, they reduce weight, all the things that happens. And so if we can keep them a little more active because they're more comfortable.
Well, it's the same for humans, right? We're constantly saying the older we get, the more we've got to keep active. It's exactly the same kind of for our dogs. In terms of CBD and perhaps younger dogs, is it something that you would use as a routine or something that you would use when the need arises?
Yeah, I think, it's up to the individual and how much they support their dog, but it has an amazing ability, even as people, there's research now each and every day. A couple of weeks ago came out about its support for oncoming Alzheimer's. And we have the same systems, internal, the CB1 and CB2 receptor systems as our dogs. And so when the people research comes out, you think to yourself, well, if it's good for people on a maintenance program, it's good for your pet. But the other application of CBD, it just so happens that at the Popular Pets, we have two versions. We have one very targeted at pain because we include other things, and one for anxiety. But many companies just recognize that it's good for both, and they have one tincture that you purchase.
And what about the age range? I'm limited in my knowledge about this, but either in a human or a dog term application. My personal experience or knowledge would look at it again, like I said, from an older dog's perspective. But again, yes, we can use it for younger dogs, but for puppies, what's the time of the?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. And the research at this point, I don't think is advanced. There is research to support the fact that there has been no ongoing deleterious effects from use of CBD, and only what you really, of course, I'm not a veterinarian, so you would consult your veterinarian. But I'm just talking about what I know of the research, and what you really need to watch is any drug interactions. But as far as ages, I don't think we've gotten that far advanced. But if we look at the human side and we look at what's happening in the human world, there's even FDA drugs approved for pediatrics to control seizures. So, they're obviously FDA approved, but on the pet side, it's just not that advanced to support and be able to say that.
Right. And it's probably not too far of a reach to say, it's probably fine. But again, yes, the research isn't quite there yet. Again, it is for me particularly, I'm not sure what it's like in the States, but for me here in Thailand, I do see a lot of, quote, purebred dogs, which are just, puppy mill dogs that mentally seem pretty stable, but physically have a lot of ailments and issues and what have you. Bearing in mind that, this is a dog that has arrived and already sadly from an early age is displaying some element of pain and going to be dealing with that, then I guess it would be useful, or it makes sense if there was the ability to use these sort of products at an early stage with no side effects that can help them sort of develop and get through.
Yeah, and it's also about experimentation. What people are finding as well is because of the receptor system that CBD really works in conjunction with, is that it's really a trial and error and fixing, just like what we're finding in people. Everybody is so different. It's not like, fixing your B12 and then everybody, there's a recommended daily dose. At CBD, our system itself is so different that it really is trying to figure out different dosages and figuring out what works.
Well, that taps into my very next question, which was, how do you work out how much CBD does my dog need? My Sassy is 22 kilos, which I think in American speak is about 45 pounds, ballpark. But if I've got dogs of different ages, different weights and sizes, dogs with different
Yeah.
activity levels. Does that all play into a part of the dosage?
Absolutely. And I think it is. Now, the good thing about it is there is no indication that you can overdose on CBD.
Cool. Okay.
So like I said, there is, this trial and error concept, but also the other thing that we need to keep in mind is, like at the Popular Pets, our CBD is water soluble. So that'll be fast absorbed and more efficient use of the body, because you spray it in the mouth and it instantly is absorbed by the body. So in effect, you need less, right?
Sure. Yeah,
As opposed to an oil-based tincture, which you put in the mouth, it will go through the entire body, it will be digested by the liver, and the actual amount the dog uses far less. So you would give more of that, right?
Okay.
In CBD milligrams. So, and then you have topical applications, which are extremely effective as well, because it gets right to the receptor site.
Okay.
And a topical application, right? There's just, no limit. You would just keep applying it as long as there's no skin irritation or otherwise.
So, ultimately it's about, I'm going to apply either the topical or ingest something. And if it's not making any difference, I'll add a bit more. Yeah. Whereas if all of a sudden my dog's doing cartwheels, I guess we've nailed the dosage.
Yeah. So, with our products, you would use, it comes in a spray bottle, chicken flavored spray, you spray it in the mouth, and you would use about 4 sprays for, a 70-ish pound lap size dog. And
what sort of, just dealing with the Popular Pets, what is the range of products that you have?
Yeah, so we have a cat line and a dog line,
okay.
And we're really proud about not being just a CBD only company. Obviously, CBD is our hero ingredient, but for instance, on the anxiety side, we also include terpenes, which are a whole nother subject of itself, okay. and calming terpenes to our formula. And we worked with biochemists to create that. So we have a calm line, and then we have a Relieve Plus. And like I said, the Relieve Plus includes other botanicals that are research-based with our CBD to support pain and inflammation.
From the calming side, what's the, for what sort of, and this might sound like a silly question, but what sort of things are you looking to help our pets with?
Yeah, so, certain pets have anxiety, separation anxiety. I personally use it for my pets on long road trips when they have to be in the car for a while. And my sister, does a lot of air travel with her dog, and okay. She has found great success with it as well. Or, she even has a friend that uses it on a boat. So I think if the dog actually has an issue with anxiety, or you're placing the dog in a situation that may cause, greater anxiousness. Okay. So I think both of those applications are great.
If we're dealing with physical pain, like again, Sassy, she's got reasonable hip dysplasia. If I'm using, say, a CBD product for that, we can argue whether it's managing or sort of masking the pain in one respect, but if it's helping her and she's being more active, that's always going to be a good thing. But ultimately, it's not going to fix the physical issue. On the other side, if we're taking a product that is helping to reduce their anxiety at a beginning level, we're going to offer a certain amount of that particular product. But are you finding, or is there any research to suggest that over time, the dog in themselves is overcoming those anxieties through the help of this drug, but I'm not required to use it quite so much anymore? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that in an ACL situation, right? As the dog, the ACL repairs, the dog gets stronger. It could be used, and that's like one situation that would be really helpful, I believe. But if you have like an ongoing arthritis, not much is going to help unless you reduce that inflammation, which it takes would be consistent. Or, I had actually, even our biochemist, but this is another example, actually, our biochemist used it. His parents' dogs had diverticulitis, and it really helped them. And that again would be an interim solution to deal with pain and discomfort. So, I guess there's a bit of both, ongoing pain and inflammation, and then if there's any pain that resulting from a surgery or another issue. Something,
yeah. Fascinating stuff. It almost kind of feels very, very new, but it's exciting and it's very interesting. And I know more of a popular thing in the US and has been for some time. But certainly here in Thailand, it is groundbreakingly new in terms of like even some CBD coffee shops have opened up. But this,
cool.
This is like within the last sort of few months and what have you in terms of how the laws are changing. So it is interesting. And when it comes to the pets, that obviously comes a little bit at a later stage. But watch this space, as it were.
Yeah, it's always fun to see new things come and help our pets. And I truly believe, obviously, that CBD is one of those.
Excellent. Cool. Well, Kendra, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Very insightful. And I think that has answered a lot of our questions.
Oh, well, I appreciate you having me and your community spending a bit of their day with me.
No problem at all. Thank you very, very much.
If you're looking for professional training or somewhere to board your dog, either short or long term, then check out Canine Point Academy. That's caninepointacademy.com or go to Facebook and search Canine Point Academy.